So, welcome to the second episode of the Real Personal Best podcast. On this one, I'm delighted to be joined by Craig Dodd. Craig Dodd has got an excellent story, one that is highly motivating, and I'm just going to dig straight in. Craig, thank you for agreeing to do this. Really good to have you on. We chatted, we started chatting on Instagram a little while ago, and I really loved your story. I really loved where you were coming from, and seeing the progress you've made. So let's talk about that. For those obviously who don't know who you are, give us a little bit of a brief intro into who you are, your situation, and where you're at now.
Do a quick one. My name's Craig Dodd. I'm a 45-year-old. Got two amazing kids. In July 2003, I had a massive operation. I had my large intestine and gallbladder removed. Hospital stay for 14 days. MRSA. It all just went a little bit wrong. Come out of hospital, started to recover okay. Then it all started to go bad physically and mentally. And for the next 3.5 years, I let my life spiral in out of controllable way, through bad life choices, alcohol, not eating well, blaming everything on my poor health, very poor choice in a relationship that didn't help, and then just nearly did something stupid on the 28th of December last year, 2025, which I'm very pleased I didn't, because I wouldn't be here now, and that was the day my life changed. That's
So, do you recognize now what the main was the operation the main turning point, or was there something else that made it spiral further after that?
uh, no, it wasn't the main operation. That it was a build up of factors, as in, it's very hard without showing you pictures. I lost 3 stone in 14 days. All body mass went. So I had an instant dislike of my body. At the time, I was involved in a new relationship with what turned out to be quite a hideous person that knocked my confidence, stopped me from doing things. Then with anxiety, depression come on top of that, and which one thing I still have now is PTSD from the hospital, but I can get over it because it's for the good. I just made lots of excuses not to do the right thing, and it was an amalgamation of things. There was a lot of red flags in my own life and the life I chose to be with and lead.
Yeah. And we talked about that day, the turning point. I mean, obviously, I don't want to go too deep into it. I think we all get what happened that day. What was going through how without going into too much detail, obviously when you came out the other side of that experience, still in one piece, and what was going through your mind at that point, and what was the real turning point? Because obviously we're talking about a change in mindset here that flips in a very short space of time. Before the incident, before you decided to make that choice, obviously you're in a very, very different place to the mindset that you're in once that event was over, and you're like, okay, I've survived. This is where this needs to change. This is where it needs to stop. Can you remember much about that flip?
That morning was, uh, it was surreal, almost spiritual. In the morning, my first thought was my two children. Like, how selfish of an act I could have chosen for 2 children. Then thoughts of one of my best friends in the world is a paramedic, and imagine him walking through the door and seeing me in a state that no man should see another man in. And the turning point was that morning. It was like, this isn't the Craig that people know. This isn't the Craig that I should be. And my turning point, it's a very hard to explain. It was almost spiritual. I I literally picked myself up off the floor, sat in another room, and my mind went blank for a couple of hours, and I realised, let's make a change. And that was it. That was it. And my first big change is I talked. I told someone, and I was verbal. That will still be one of my greatest bits of advice. Will be, you're not alone. You have a voice. Tell someone. It's like a
That's
weight off your shoulders.
that's a very good. That's really good. Um, I had a similar conversation with one of my clients yesterday. Um, I'm not even going to try and compare the situations. The obviously not even close. But it was about being in a place where you're not happy or where you feel like everything's getting to you. And I just said, like, talk to me, use people. The minute that you verbalize a thought that's going through your head, that is the moment you can see it for what it is,
Yes.
and not get
Um,
too emotionally tied up in it because you're not letting it out. You're not getting it out into anywhere else. You're constantly fixated on that one thought. But it's like you say, as soon as you tell someone else, who was that person that you told?
my mum. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
better person to
And
tell
it,
it to, really.
yeah, and that's when it changed. It was like a weight off my shoulders. It was just, and now now I can't necessarily, when I am having difficult moments, which everyone gets. I know worse than anyone else, know better than everyone else. But when those moments now build, which they do make me laugh because I see it in myself that sometimes they're just minute. It's just a tiny little, which I think's a biggest problem in the world, that feels like in my head it's snowballing, and it's something so simple. And just for having someone to go, well, we'll just do it this way, or change over. I mean, I've got loads of sort of stories about it. We will touch on my goals and things later on, but it was a few months ago. I got a little injury, ended up in hospital for a few days, and I got myself so worked up over a goal that I couldn't achieve that I almost shut down. And a friend funny enough, another PT instructor online said, "Well, what is your next month's goal?" And I said, "Oh, I plan to go abroad." He said, "Just swap them over." And it was as simple as that, but I couldn't see it.
Hmm.
You get so hyper focused on where you are.
Oh,
You
100%.
can't. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's the best way to explain it. It's like tunnel vision. You instead of going, just drop and go, oh yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I can relate to that fully. I mean, I'll have weeks where I put myself under a considerable amount of pressure and wonder why, um, I'm spending so much time doing something or so many hours doing something, and it just takes someone to look at you and go, well, why don't you just don't do it? Just don't do, like,
Yeah,
do something else. You're like, oh, I hadn't thought of
it's it's what another big thing I learned as well was to say no.
that.
Um, I've always been I don't know, not in a good way, a people pleaser, even with my kids. Saying no's been a big difference. And no to myself, like the gym. This is why we're here. It's like I get to the gym as long as my motivation can get me to the gym, I know that there's no point trying to lift more than I did the day before because I'm going to hurt myself. So telling yourself no is a big step. As long as you got there, you've done more than others. And
I'm
yeah,
going to
you've got to
challenge.
learn. Yeah, you've got to learn boundaries within yourself as well.
I'm going to challenge what you just said there on the motivation to get to the gym, because I know we've touched on this before, and it hasn't always been motivation that's got you to the gym.
No, no, it's not. It's not. It is now. Oh, that's it. It's mental health gets me to the gym. It still does. Um, it I can go through those automatic doors. Approach those automatic doors with the most horrendous mindset, with everything going through my head. The moment I walk through those doors, put my headphones in with a plan, I'm a free man for an hour plus.
Yeah.
It's even the nasty treadmill will make my mind clear.
Let's get into the gym side then, because the gym especially has been probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, life-saving factor for you. And we've spoke about this before, and I loved what you told us about your first experience of getting into the gym. So let's touch on that one, because it's one that I think a lot of people will listen to and go, oh, God, yeah, I've had that so many times.
Yeah, it's so I was, even though I was mentally not great in the head, I was still being a bit ruthless with money. So it was January the 2nd that Pure Gym advertised their New Year's deal. So signed up uh, that evening, January the 2nd. I drove to Pure Gym, pulled up outside of Pure Gym, sat there and cried for an hour, and drove home. The January the 3rd, I drove to Pure Gym, got myself out of the car, stood at the front door, cried my eyes out, got back in the car and drove home. January the 4th, same thing, drove to Pure Gym, got to the front doors, went through the front doors, treadmills were on the left, got to the treadmills, I'd made it in there, had a horrendous panic attack, anxiety attack, had to lean on the treadmills, and I went, well, I'm leaning on it, just get on it. So that was the day I started at the gym, was January the 4th. I fell onto a treadmill
Yeah.
and
Isn't that
not looked back
interesting
since.
though?
Yeah,
The even metaphorically, just getting through the door, just stepping through the door
it,
was the key turning point.
it is, and something we'll stick with the gym, but something I've learned. I attend not just attend now. I'm lead facilitator of a group for men called Man Down, and one of their key sayings is it's the small wins. And for those men, because I was there, the small win was walking through that door. That once you've done that, the other bits just fall into place, and it was going through that door. Once I did that, um, the gym, yeah, it was still a struggle on the 5th. I think I had the 6th off, then the 7th. It was still a struggle. I mean, I still cried. I think I cried pretty much every time I went to the gym in some corner for a good 3 weeks. But I was in the gym, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know. The treadmill freaked me out because you got to hold the start button for 5 seconds before it does anything. It just annoys me now. But then I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, I mean, what a place. I call it my church. I'm not a religious man. I call the gym my church. It's an incredible place with incredible people. And you can, like I said, your mindset can be something else approaching those doors. But when you come out, your mindset's clear. It's happy.
So describe how the gym is now compared to those first few weeks, because from what I've seen,
Oh,
it's you are leaps and bounds ahead of where you were. So what does the experience look like now for you?
I mean, I think it was end of March. I took myself abroad for a week, which was incredible. Had a little gym there. I was walking, average of 12 kilometers a day, just really relaxing. And I realized that I'd hit a wall at the gym. Um, I couldn't see any progression or anything. And like yourself, I have found the most incredible friends through my story. And one of the PT instructors at Pure Gym, I'm going to name drop here, Dave Assis, saw me crying at the start and he's always checked on me. And I approached him and said, I need help. And once a week on a Thursday, he gives me PT instruction and it's leaps and bounds. It's,
Excellent.
having someone that knows the gym, that knows the anatomy and knows everything. What a change your body does in quite a short space of time. I used to go around doing every assisted machine in one sitting. So I'm working every muscle in my body 6 days a week, not giving anything a rest. That's why I couldn't see progression.
Yeah.
And yeah, and now it changes. I mean, yeah,
So it's not like the guy's doing the work
I
for
mean,
you. He's just there just to point you in the right direction and give you that give you that.
point in the right direction. It's their knowledge. It's their knowledge. It's why they're there. I mean, you wouldn't go to a nice restaurant, and walk in the kitchen and cook it yourself. That's the whole point. You go to a restaurant because there's a chef
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's the same. You
exactly.
go to the gym. There's PT instructors, online ones like yourself. That's what you do. And it's those it's those changes. Those, and funny enough, it was small changes that make big impacts. Um,
Definitely. So
yeah.
in terms of go on, here's a chance to show off. Going from crying on a treadmill one week, give us some of your personal bests now.
So this month, every month since January, uh, I've set goals and challenges. I mean, we're only a few months in. January was to survive. That was January's goal. February, I did 2,000 push-ups for mental health and Salvation Army. March, I went abroad. What was April's? I can't remember what April's was. Well, I've done one, but this month it was to. I've not really done a gym one, and this month was to deadlift my own body weight, which is 80 kilos. Um, so went to the gym on the 2nd with the PT instructor, and first time deadlifted 90 kilos, and it was a bit of a, wow, I've done it, but then go, what do I do the rest of the month? So at my heaviest back in November, I was 16 and a half stone. I'm now 12. So I've lost 4.5 stone. Not all necessarily healthy in the start, but it is now. And so I've decided by the end of June, I am going to deadlift my heaviest of 6.5 stone, which I believe is 105 kilos. So that's my goal now, is that one. But yeah, my gym routine is a lot more healthy and a lot more sensible now, where I don't just go around every machine. Um, Realise warming up is a key. I didn't do that very well, so I do 10 minutes on the treadmill, um, either fast walking or a gentle jog. Um, Work at the programs that have been designed for me. Learned some stuff myself. One thing, the kettlebell, incredible, absolutely incredible. I do that up on the mezzanine floor. It just stretches, builds muscle, posture. I really noticed the kettlebell does amazing posture, holds you up straight. So, yeah, it's a lot different, my gym routines and look now. It's I drink more at the gym. That was another thing. I take a bottle of drink. That would do me the whole gym session. I realise rehydration is a huge step. It's a huge kit. I mean, I used to get headaches coming out because I wasn't drinking enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, gym's a lot different. I'm very lucky. I'm a former chef by trade, so the food bit's not been too difficult for me. But portion sizes, I was terrible for portion sizes. You don't need that. Half it, at least. It does. It still fills you up. You're not bloated. Cut out all fats, unnecessary fats. Still have a treat day every now and again. Protein, absolute key. Protein shake. It's not just one thing. It's what I've learned from yourself, watching you online, watching other guys at the gym, PT instructor. If you want progress, you need to do the package. You need the rest days, absolute key. I was so anti rest days. You need them. And I'm not like, you don't have to have a day off exercise, but you just need to do something else and your body repairs itself.
It's a formula with
Yeah,
lots of variables, and you need to get them all in place. It's not just
yes,
one item. Yeah. You mentioned drink there. Probably a good time to move into that area. Um,
Yes.
Tell us where you're at with drinking.
Um, so I'm an alcoholic. 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic, and I don't think I discovered that until maybe February. But I stopped drinking on December the 6th. I took my mum to Berlin. Um, my last drink was in Germany, and Saturday just gone, the 6th of June, I am 6 months sober from
Right.
alcohol. But it's not just. I mean, alcohol is the big factor. I was at my worst drinking 3 bottles of wine a day, and when I say day, sometimes it started during the day. Um, so yeah, the stopping alcohol, I recommend it to anyone. You don't need it to be happy. There is no answer in the bottom of that bottle. It just brings unhappiness, um, bad family life. You don't need it. The other thing
I've
I
seen the
stopped as
difference.
well.
I've
Sorry.
seen the difference in your photos as well. That
Oh,
you were kind enough
yeah.
to share, from what you look like now to what you looked like before, is just absolutely crazy.
I
Such a
mean
difference.
that 4.5 stone is that's a small human's body weight that I'm not
Mm.
carrying around. Um, the other thing I stopped was, I'm not telling people to take. Go and speak to your GP. If you think your medication that the GP is giving you is changing your lifestyle, go and speak to your GP, because I did that and I went from 9 different medications. I'm down to 2 now, and my life is so much healthier because I'm not taking unnecessary medication. Um, Control it through food, control it through what I, drink, um, exercise,
And I'm
talking.
assuming
You
I'm
know,
assuming those changes are because of all the healthier lifestyle changes you've made, because obviously where you were before was putting you in such a bad position that doctors were probably trying to put a sticking plaster over every single thing that was going wrong with you by giving you this, giving you this, and giving you this. That as soon as you turn your life around, start exercise, start eating properly, start drinking enough fluid, that a lot of those symptoms, a lot of those things that were going wrong are just, they're not necessary. not necessarily to be fixed with medication anymore.
No. So my sobriety is definitely a factor of many things. Alcohol, the key. Alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic that depends on alcohol. I'm an alcoholic is once I start, I can't stop. So I'm better just not starting. That's me done forever. So that's number one. The medication, like you said, that the doctors put on me to help me once I changed my lifestyle, that was no longer working. So I corrected that with their help. Um, Unhealthy lifestyle choices. Once I corrected that and saw what they were, I don't make those choices anymore. And my final sort of big one of my was a horrendous relationship, and that was I cleared all those off my plate, and I'm just in a different state of mind. I'm a different person, and it's a person that I'm beginning to like.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's not just the gym goals either, because I do want to talk a bit more about your goals and what you've got planned for the rest of the year and the months coming up. But you've done some other pretty cool stuff. Like every time I look on your Instagram page, you're either up a new mountain or doing something else. Um, like what else apart from the gym is keeping you inspired, and what else have you got planned? What else is in the back of your mind? All these bucket list things that you just seem to keep springing up week after week.
I can't keep up with them myself. It's next month. I want to win a medal. Look, I don't appreciate I'm going to get first, second, third. I want to win a medal. I want to go out and do something where Craig's done that. I've got something to show. So that's June's. July's, I'm not too sure. August, because my mind's changed. The ones that I had are not are not the same. But it's sort of, I think July, possibly August, depending on weather, is going to be a duplicate um, goal. I climbed Snowdon last month. That was my goal. It was incredible. I did it in the time I said I was going to do, up and down, but I did the easier run, which still isn't easy. But in probably August, my August goal is there. There's a really hard part. So, at the top of my name, I can't remember what it is. I want to do that one because I loved it so much. The views. I want to do that one. So, it's going to be a duplicate goal. But it also goes on that my goals are not stopping this year. My end goal is December for this year, doing one every month, and it's not a physical goal. It's not. It's a mental goal for me and everyone else. I'm having a party on the 28th of December to celebrate me.
Brilliant.
That's
Why not?
what I want to do. What I want to do in December. But next year, I've set bigger goals. One of them, I need a bit of lady luck. I've put my ballot in for the London Marathon. I would like to do a parachute jump because mental goals are as important as physical goals to me. I would like to do some white collar boxing next year. I would like to do one every quarter next year because obviously London Marathon's quite a big one. But then 2028, I've already thought of one. I want to do the Three Peaks Challenge in 24 hours.
Brilliant.
I love the goals and targets. My partner, she really laughs. So I set goals every month. I do them, but I can't just leave it as a goal. I've got to set a target as well. So, like, it wasn't my goal last month. Wasn't just my goal was climbing Snowdon, but I had to set a time. Right, I want to be up and down in 5.5 hours. I've got to set a goal and a target. I've got to push myself.
I think what I'd like to do is, I mean, we're not quite finished yet, but I would like to get you back on again in a few months' time, knowing a goal that you've set, and put that little bit of pressure on you to see, right, did you get it or not?
Deal, deal. I like. I. I love it. I like the fact that, I class you as a friend now. It's you've watched my progress, you comment on it, and it's I don't just do it for me now. What a lot of this is for me. I do it for others now because it pushes. I believe my actions, good actions, push others to do better things and be happy. It's like one big key. It's to see happiness. You've got to see happiness in everyone and everything. So when people see me do goals and challenges, they're happy, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
I mean, you said
And
yourself when I asked you if you wanted to come on here, you said if me coming on and telling my story helps save one person like it did me, then it's worth doing. And
100%.
even from my perspective as well, I think anyone who listens to this, for me, the message I want them to get out of this as well is that it's within yourself to make that change.
It
You
100%
just
is
you
within
just need
yourself.
to you just need to make that step. You just need to make that commitment and decision
You do.
that you're going to do something about it.
I mean, it's it, it, it's not simple. It's not simple. You've got to, once you can control that to some sort of degree. So go back to Snowdon. I'd recommend it for anyone. The scenery. It's stunning. It's one foot in front of the other. That's what it is. It's the small wins. It's going through that door at the gym. It's instead of being sat on your sofa at home going, I need to change, I need to do exercise. You haven't got to be at a gym. You haven't got to climb Snowdon. Get up, put your shoes on, walk to the shop. You make those small changes. And when you start doing that, the other bits just fall into place.
Yeah, they do.
It's, it's, I'm going to sort of touch on something that I'm very proud of. Um, on January the 9th, I attended a group called Man Down. It's for men struggling with mental health. I talked about it a minute ago. You walk through those doors is the hardest thing I think I've ever done. Now I'm the lead facilitator for the Chippenham group where I am, and these guys. I'm just an ear to listen to, and I really tell them the importance of physical health helps your mental health, and there's guys that go out to do walking groups, rock wall climbing, an indoor rock wall where we are. It's such physical health will change that.
We talked about this a lot in the last podcast with Dr. Stevens, and even though your psychology is probably the most important thing, and because it governs everything else, by being in a better physical state, you are already putting yourself in a better mental state, and the two
Hundred
just
hundred
overlap.
percent.
Yeah,
It does. I mean, losing the 4.5 stone that I didn't sleep well because of my weight. I used to snore. I wasn't comfortable in bed. I'd get huge hot flushes. Now my physical health is completely different. I sleep better. I don't snore. I've been told as much. Um, so the sleep come back, and you need sleep. And when you've got sleep, you've got energy. When you've got energy, you can do things. And it is your physical health changes so many aspects. So many aspects. I mean, the one that any dad would be proud of. I used to struggle to walk. I used to struggle to kick a ball round the park with my son. I'm now the referee for his football team. So that's 16 9, 10-year-olds. I'm chasing them around the pitch, getting my steps in,
Brilliant.
doing all right. So
Yeah.
it's where back in last year, I stood in the middle of the pitch. That's all I could do. That's all I could do. So just for my kids alone, it's worth it. That
Yeah.
they're my goal. They're my future. They're everything
You
for
could
me.
not have done
Being
that months ago.
oh no, no November. I could I from where I live to the centre of the town centre is a mile away. I couldn't have even walked it. I now run it and run back. It's
Mm.
yeah, it's completely different, and I love having that mindset that you your age is just a number. It's just a number. You can be fit. You know, the gym. I love it. There's people, men and women, that are probably well into retirement age, are smashing it at the gym, and you just like love that. I love
Yeah.
it.
I was interviewed last week, and the question I was asked was, "Can you still be as fit after you've had kids?" And I'm like, I didn't start this until I had kids, and I'm the fittest and the best shape I've ever been in my life at 48. So yeah,
I definitely am. I definitely am. It's it's I don't know. It's one of those. It's one of those things, memes that you see online. I want to see my six pack again once more. Um, it won't just be once more. When I finally get it fully back, it is staying. But yeah,
well,
I'm
I
in the
never
best
knew I had
shape of my
one.
life.
I never knew I had one until now.
No, no, I never did. I never did. And appreciate my tummy issues. I've got to be a bit gentle, but it'll get there. But yeah, being in shape in our the wrong side of 40, it's incredible. What a feeling, you know, what a feeling
So
to
yeah, go on.
to do what do what we do. You as an incredible PT instructor online, love it, and me at the gym. It was a funny, actually, a little funny story. My nephew, 17, coming to 18, obviously lives with his parents, had scaffolding in the back garden and challenged me to do chin ups. I did more than him. 17, I'm 45.
17.
Yeah.
Oh, record them next time. I want to say that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling to be fit in a great era of your life. I think
Yeah.
30s men tend to let themselves go, and 40s I definitely did, but I'm definitely coming back strong now. I'm in my mid 40s.
Yeah. I think it comes from
So I've
I think it comes from that time when responsibilities in your life start to build up. You know, people in jobs, their careers start to become more serious, take on more responsibility. You meet partners, you have families. It all coincides around that time, particularly in your 30s and 40s, where everything else builds up, and the one thing that you let slip is your own health.
mm, um, I think I really noticed in myself, which is a bit bad being a chef, is I think people go to too much convenient takeaway food now instead of doing a healthy choice at home. And you can a healthier choice takeaway. It's like the bad food is that don't get me wrong. I had a McDonald's the first time this year. I think a month ago with my kids. Apart from it made me feel sick eating it. I can have the odd treat. But yeah, I think too many people just rely on that now. The unhealthy food choices.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to go back a little bit to where you were at the beginning and thinking about other men who are in a similar position at the moment, what would you say to men who are where you were back in November, December last year? What would your advice be to them?
My first bit of advice would be to them would find help, mental help, a group, your doctors, talk to someone. Because once that barrier is broken, it's like I said, it's like a weight off your shoulders. And after that, you have to think of what choices you're making. And you need to make some changes. And it's only you can do it. Then learn the word no. I, it's not no as in a horrible or aggressive way. Sometimes no, and it's no to yourself. No, I don't need to eat that. No, I don't need to open another bottle. No. And you change that aspect of yourself and things work, and get yourself some form of exercise. There's one thing with this man down group. There is so many free groups out there, walking groups, rock climbing, running, gym groups, and they're all free. So if you don't want to do what I did, go to the gym, not everyone can afford it. There is so many exercise choices out there to get you going. It's you've got to put, which I didn't do, lots of men didn't do, you probably didn't do. You didn't put number one first, and some very wise person told me on a plane there is a reason that you put your mask on first. Yes.
That was me, wasn't it,
And
that I said that?
it was you. Yes. You
Yeah,
told me that one, and that has stuck with me. There is a
yeah,
reason that you put your mask on first on a plane.
yeah. If you're no good to yourself, you're no good to anybody else. 100%.
No. It's small
Um,
steps. Take your small steps and small wins.
Brilliant. Craig, thanks very much. I think it's
Before we
it's
wind
it's
this
a
up, I'm going to put you in the hot seat. I've got a couple of questions.
I've got a couple of minutes left. Go on then.
Okay. How does it motivate you seeing men and women wanting to change?
The more that I want it gives me a similar energy to them. So the more that somebody wants to change, the more I want to help them. If it's just very superficial and not superficial, but if they don't want the change enough, or I can see they don't want it enough, that doesn't motivate me very much to help them. The more that they show that desire and that real want to get somewhere, I'm all in. It will I will move heaven and earth to make sure that I can help them in whatever way I can to get them there. If they don't want it, um, do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
you've got to want something, and the more somebody wants something, the more motivated I am to put the work in and help them. And when that's the case, and they get a result, it means everything. Like it means the world.
Okay. Next one. How do you deal with low motivation days?
Well, they come along they come along quite often. You can't just even though you people might present a version of themselves online that makes it sound like everything is 100% perfect all the time. It's not. We're human. We have good days, we have bad days. Discipline's the key, and building habits. Um,
Yes.
the life doesn't care whether you're having a bad day or not. Your body doesn't particularly care if you don't feel up to it. You've just got to accept it for what it is and still do the work. It's what I bang on about all the time, having non-negotiables. It's having things set in place that you just do regardless of whether you want to do them or not. And you continue to do them, because the second you stop doing them is the second you start going backwards. So it's building habits. It's building, having the discipline to build habits. And once they're in, they stick. And it doesn't matter what it is. Just if it's just got to be something for you that you say, these are things that I'm going to do. And as long as you do, like making sure that you step through the gym, you go through those doors whether you want to or not. Whether you feel like you might have an off day where you have a bit of a wobble and you're like, I really don't want to go today, but you still go. Even if you don't enjoy it for that day, even if you walk out and go, well, that was crap. I didn't get anything out of that today, but you still went. It's a damn sight better than sitting at home and then negotiating with yourself about why it was okay not to go. That's a big thing at the moment. Negotiating with yourself, having that conversation where you're trying to talk yourself out of something. And that comes back to your point about saying no, and saying no to yourself. Because as soon as that with the chimp on your shoulder starts trying to get you to do what's comfortable, that's when you've got to say no. It's hard.
It is. Okay, penultimate question. What are your main keys for physical change? What are the main key components?
I'm going to sound horribly cliched here. Exercise is obviously one of them. The right nutrition is the other. But I think a change in mindset is probably the most important. But you can't really have one without the other. If you get the physical done, your mindset changes, but you also need a different mindset to get on board with the physical and the changes in diet as well. So, but they're probably the three, unless you meant something else.
No, that's exactly what I meant. It's the package. And the last one, what is your best tip for success? Physical success.
Physical success. In terms of physical change?
Yeah, in terms of physical change, what is your best tip?
You need to keep pushing forward. There needs to be some level of progression. There needs to be some level of difficulty that you need to lean in towards. And to be honest, I can span that further out from just physical, whether it's mental or anything else. The things that people need to do to improve in any area of life, not just physically, is do the things that they're avoiding. It's doing the hard things that you don't want to do. And the way that you should be motivated into doing those is, if you know that's the case, you should be able to recognize that if there's something there that is something that you're avoiding, or is something that you don't want to do because it's hard, that is the exact one thing that's going to change you. That's the exact one thing that you're missing, that you're not doing now, but it's also the exact one thing that is going to make the next difference, that's going to level you up. So look hard at all the things that you even you get to the end of the day and have a think about what was I supposed to do today that I avoided because I didn't want to do it. Out of all the things that you did do, that was probably the one thing that would have made the biggest difference. But you wasted most of the day doing all the easy stuff because it's easy, but the one thing that was really going to make an impact, and you can put that into the gym as well. If you just keep going and making it easy on yourself, you're not going to progress. You need to come up against harder and harder things all the time. No different to you climbing your mountains. You did Snowdon. What's next? What's the next biggest one? Or how can I do it, but in a faster time?
Yes. It's having that the goals are great, but having that target within the goal makes the huge difference.
Yeah.
You know, one more rep, one more step, you know, push yourself that little bit harder.
Yeah. 100%. Cool.
Right.
Was there
That's
any,
my
were there
questions
any
for
more,
you
Craig?
done. That was my questions for you done.
Oh, thank you. Um, just to sign off then and wrap this up, would you like to give a proper shout out to the Man Down group you're in? Because obviously you've hit a point on your advice to people who find themselves in a similar position. If there's anyone who is interested in knowing more about this group, where can they find you? How can they get in touch?
100%. Man Down has been an incredible part of my healing journey. Man Down started in Cornwall. It's Man Down Cornwall. I believe there's 67 across the UK now groups. Google it. It's there on Google. I've got my pen. It's there. What does it say? Let's talk about it. It's if you hopefully follow my Instagram. If you want to chat, I'll tell you where your nearest group is. This month, um, mental health is everybody suffers with, men and women, but this month it's Men's Mental Health Month, which is very it's not recognised massively. 75% of all suicides are males. That equates roughly worldwide to 67,000 per day of men. If you want, Man Down, like I said, it's online. There are groups everywhere. They're springing up more and more. I'm in Wiltshire this week. Tidworth is a brand new one starting up. So if you want information, please look me up on Instagram.
What is your Instagram handle? I mean, I will put it in when I post this on
Oh
Instagram and
God, I
YouTube. I will put
believe
your
it's
Instagram
Craig
handle.
Dodd _28. I believe. Yeah, please put it in, Phil, because that may be wrong. But yeah, it's please, yeah, just I will
Well, I'll put
100%.
that. I'll put the link in the comments, and if you send me the one for Man Down, I will put that in the comments as well and tag them in. If they're if they're on Instagram, I'll tag them into this as well.
Well, yeah, they're definitely on Instagram. Thank you very much. That means the world to me.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Craig. We will
Cheers,
do this
buddy.
again, and we'll catch up and see where you're at in a few months.
Definitely, yes. Thank you, mate. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, bud.
Bye.